Yo, I had recorded a Grass Wonder career that I was planning to post on Friday, and normally when I do record these career videos, I record my own audio alongside the career while I'm doing it. Unfortunately, my OBS settings got messed up, so none of my audio ended up recording at all, so today we're going to do something a little different with what I'm going to call a guided career video. I'm going to go back over this Grass Wonder career that I did and basically explain my thought process and decision making throughout the run, the things that I try to keep track of or keep an eye out for, and I'll probably also talk about some general mechanics at a surface level. This video is going to be a bit more informative than my other career uploads, and it's also going to be longer as a result. There's also going to be a lot of front-loaded information here before we actually get into the career. We're mostly going to focus on the turns themselves once we are in the career, so I'm either going to cut out the races completely or shorten them. If you do like this style of video more than what I normally post, let me know in the comments so that I know to think about doing more stuff like this in the future. Before we start, I do also want to preface this and say that I'm not some sort of authority figure or expert when it comes to Umamusume. I just want to share the way that I play the game. I'm also going to assume that you've played through the tutorial for the game and you have done a few careers on your own, so you have a basic grasp of how the gameplay works. With all of that said, hopefully I can help to explain why I make certain decisions, and maybe that will help you when you're going through your own careers as well. Now before we actually get into the career, I do want to talk a bit about the Legacy Umas that I chose and the support card deck that I'm using for this career. For the Legacy Umas, I'm using my own 5 power, 2 speed El Condor Pasa, and I'm also using a 9 stamina Ogre Cap that I had borrowed. I wanted to get a good amount of stamina through the inspiration because I'm not running a stamina card in this deck. You can see this deck is a 3 speed, 2 power, and 1 wit deck. And I mentioned earlier that I have been making some mistakes, and one that you could consider here is that I am using power cards. I have seen a lot of general recommendations right now in this current state of the game that power cards are not very good. Vodka is a good card, the rest of the power cards aren't that great. And you also get power when you train speed, although at a lower rate, but it might just be more beneficial to run more speed cards instead, and it gives you more consistent trainings that are done on speed that you can take advantage of. So a deck that ends up using more speed cards, or maybe even drops the wit card here if I am going to try and fit power cards in here, might be a better option. The main reason that I am running this deck that I am is I just don't have other speed cards. I have this Nishino Speed SSR and I have the Special Week SSR, and then my only other speed cards are R cards, and I didn't really want to use those. When it comes to support cards, I basically just use the 40 pulls that we had at the start of the game when I was re-rolling, and then I've been saving all of my currency for Kita-san Black. You can see my savings at the top there. And with Kita coming this upcoming week, I should hopefully be able to start making some more solid decks going forward, but that's going to take a bit of time. Okay, and before we get too deep into the career as well, I did want to talk about a few other things. These are the 4 things that factor into my decision making during the early part of a career, and these 4 things are energy, mood, friendship gauges, and facility leveling. Those first 2 things, energy and mood, are focused on for the entire career, and we'll briefly just cover them since I think most people are familiar with how those systems work. Energy can basically be boiled down to resting when your energy is low so that you don't fail your trainings. Once your energy is below 50%, you start to have a failure rate for your trainings, and the lower your energy gets, the higher that failure rate is. Your horse girl's mood affects the stat gains that they get from training and also has an impact on their race performances. I want to stay at good mood or higher for most of the career. Mood can increase from taking a recreation, or it can increase or decrease from events, and some mood events are scripted, and we'll talk about them later as they come up. The other 2 aspects are something that have a very large focus early on in the career, so these are things that I'm going to explain in a bit more depth now. So first, let's talk about friendship gauges. Each support card in your deck has a friendship gauge, and I'll probably end up referring to that as bond at some point, so if you ever hear that, you know I'm talking about friendship. Whenever you train with a support card, you gain 7 friendship with them, and whenever you get a hint from a support card, you gain 5 friendship with them. You can also gain friendship from a support card's events. You can see the support card's friendship level based on the gauge underneath their face. Each segment of the gauge is 20 friendship. One of my main focuses early on in the career is building friendship with support cards in order to get them to 80 friendship. Once a support hits 80 friendship, you can see that their gauge will turn orange, and they'll start giving you friendship trainings when they show up on the training type for their stat. I'll probably refer to those as rainbows throughout this, and these friendship trainings end up giving more stats. For example, Sweep Tosho is a speed card, so she gives speed friendship trainings when she shows up on speed training. Since friendship trainings give increased amount of stats, and these stat gains are further scaled by support card effects, like friendship bonus, focusing on getting friendship gauges filled earlier on in the career means that you will get access to these more powerful trainings earlier on as well. The last thing that I brought up are facility levels, so let's talk a bit about those now. There's a different training facility for each stat, and these go from level 1 to 5, and you gain more stats when your facility is at a higher level. Facilities level up every time that you train 4 times on that specific stat, so this can be a major consideration in your decision making early on in the career, where you might want to focus most of your trainings on 1 or 2 facilities that you know you're going to be using a lot, and that's something that you will want to think about when also wanting to increase friendship gauges as well. So for example, if you had 2 support cards on speed training and 2 support cards on stamina training, so you're getting the same amount of friendship gain regardless of which training you take, I would generally focus on taking speed when building for Mile, like we are here with this Grass Wonder, in order to help push that facility to a higher level, since that is a training that we're going to be taking more of later on, since we are going to want to focus on pushing our speed as high as possible. One big important time of the career is the summer training camp, which takes place for 4 turns, starting from early July and lasting through late August. The big thing that makes summer so great, and why you can end up seeing so much stat gain from it, is that every facility is set to its max level during this training camp. And with that 6-minute preamble out of the way, let's actually get into the career now. So for this first turn, we had 2 characters on power and 2 characters on wit. We are running 2 power cards. I do want to level the power facility, and we're also at full energy, so taking wit, which would normally give energy, doesn't really have that benefit here, so we are going to take power here. For the second turn, we have that same example that I gave earlier, 2 on speed and 2 on stam. We're taking speed here because we want to level our speed. For this third turn, we have 2 characters on stamina and 2 characters on guts, which are both 2 facilities that we're not going to be focusing on too much during this run. Stam is a more important stat, so we are going to pick stam here. On turn 4, our energy is pretty low, so I do check the trainings anyways, because you can just do that and then back out. And these failure rates are too high for what these trainings are, so we're going to rest here. Here on turn 5, not too many of these trainings look particularly enticing, except for Wit, which has 2 characters that we want to bond with, and also Akikawa. Normally when I have turns of about equal quality with Wit and something else, or when the other trainings just aren't super exciting, I'll end up taking Wit because it does help to save some energy, and that can help to postpone a rest. On this turn, Stamina is our biggest support card stack, and we also are getting a hint from Special Week, so we're going to take Stamina. On this turn, you can see that we have 2 supports on speed and 2 supports on power. However, on speed, one of those characters is Akikawa. Akikawa and also Etsuko later on when we get her don't actually give friendship trainings, so pushing their bond is less important than pushing bond for the support cards that are actually going to give us rainbows, so we're going to take power here. The best stack on this turn was 2 on wit, and at this point, I decide to just take an outing and get our mood up, because the 2 on wit, while being okay, isn't really that great. We do get a date event following this outing, and this is our first example of an event which has a choice to make. When it comes to these events with choices, if you want to see exactly what the event outcomes are, I have a link in the description to Gametora's training event helper. You can see it on screen right now as well. And what this event helper does is it lets you set your support card deck and the character that you're training, and then also see all of the events that you would have access to, so you can quickly click on them and see exactly what you get from each outcome. It's incredibly helpful to have as you're going through trainings if you're trying to pick the best options for each event. So in this case, the top option would give us 5 power and 5 wit, whereas the bottom option would give us 10 speed. I want to push our speed as high as we can, so we're going to take speed here. This turn was a choice between 2 on power and 2 on wit. I decided to take the 2 on power because I want to level the power facility, and also because I'd rather get friendship on sweep than on Nishino, since sweep has better bonuses for training and is also more likely to show up on speed training than Nishino. This turn wasn't super appealing. It was basically a choice between 2 on guts, 1 on wit, or taking a rest. I decided to take guts here because Spe and Fine are both behind the other cards, so I want to prioritize getting some more friendship with them. On this Fine Motion Chain 1 event, I take the bottom option, which gives Practice Perfect. This is a 2% decrease to all failure rates. After the Guts training last turn, our energy is too low here, our failure rates are too high, so we're just gonna rest for this turn. And on the Special Week event, the top option gives Extra Tank, which is a long stamina recovery skill, or the bottom option gives Guts. We're building for miles, so we just take the Guts here. Our debut race comes and goes, and now we are in the second half of our junior year. On this turn, we have a choice between 2 on speed or 3 on stamina. We're going to take the 3 on stamina just to get some more friendship in, and we're also going to need some stamina for some of the races that Grass takes in the scenario. We also get offered an extra training here. The top option here would take 5 energy and give +5 to whatever stat you just trained. It also has a chance to heal a negative debuff, and it will also give you 5 Akikawa Bond, or you can just take the bottom option and refuse the extra training, and you gain 5 energy. Most of the time, I'll take the energy unless I don't need it or I really want to get more Akikawa Bond. We also get a mood down here, which is pretty unfortunate, and looking at the trainings for this turn, our best option is 2 on stamina, so I choose to just take an outing and get our mood back up a little bit. We also get a date event here. The top option gives Guts, the bottom option gives stamina, so we're just going to take the stamina. This turn has a choice between 2 on stamina or 2 on wit. We're going to take wit and save some energy here. We also get an event here. The top option gives 10 speed and 5 wit. The bottom option gives a hint for competitive spirit. I don't think we're going to buy competitive spirit, so we're just going to take the stats here. The most compelling choice this turn is 3 on wit, so we're just going to take that. We also get a mood increase from Akikawa here, and this one is random. These random chances of getting our mood up are part of the reason why I'm okay with letting my mood stay at good. On this turn, we have a choice between 2 on speed or 2 on power with a Nishino hint, and we take the power and get the Nishino hint for that little bit of extra friendship. And this also pushes our power facility to level 2, so that's nice as well. This event gives a choice between 10 power and 10 speed. We're going to take speed here. For this turn, we have 2 on stam with an Ogre hint or 2 on power. I took the stam here because I do want that little bit of extra friendship, and Ogre has a few hints that could be useful. 2 on Guts here is the best option for friendship on this turn, and it also gets Sweep to 80 friendship, which lets her start rainbowing. On this turn, our energy is low. I still check the trainings, mostly looking for a wit stack to see if that's worth taking, but there isn't anything there, so we're just gonna rest this turn. For the Beautiful event, the top option gives 5 wit and 15 skill points, or the bottom option gives 10 speed. I want speed more than anything else, so we're taking speed here. This turn had a choice between 2 on stam with Akikawa or 2 on power with a vodka hint. I want to take power here because we want to push that power facility level up, and we're also getting a bit more friendship from that vodka hint as well. This turn had a speed rainbow with Etsukawana, and I take it. Wit was a little bit tempting to try and push Nishino up and get some more bond with Ogre, but we do want more speed. We have our goal race now, the Asahi High Futurity Stakes. We end up getting 3rd here, which isn't great, and the lack of fans from this placement means that we do need to take an optional race before the Derby. For our last turn of the junior year, we see 3 characters on stam, and we take that. That's a great stack for friendship. We're entering the classic year now, so it's time to make our New Year's resolution. We have a choice between +10 to a stat, +20 energy, or +20 skill points. I always take the +20 energy here, as long as I'm not capped on energy. This turn has 3 on Guts with Akikawa and a Fine Motion hint. It's a great stack, and it also pushes Special Week to be able to rainbow. And after that turn, our energy is way too low, so we're just gonna rest here. This turn gives us a double speed rainbow, and we have to take that. That's great. We are still behind on speed trainings here. Our speed facility is still level 1. We do get a mood down here, but we get energy in return for it, and that's totally fine with the turn that we're on. We get another speed rainbow this turn, and I said we were low on speed, so we're definitely taking that. This does also get us to level 2 speed facility, so we are starting to catch up a tiny bit. For Ogre's Chain 2 event, the top option gives 5 power and 10 skill points and a Pace Chaser stamina recovery skill. The bottom option gives 5 stamina, 10 skill points, and a Late Surger speed skill. We take the bottom option because we're a Late Surger. The trainings that were on offer weren't very good this turn, so I decide to take this turn to take the Tulip Show, which is a G2 race, and that satisfies the entry requirement for the Japanese Derby, our goal race. And then for the options after the race, since we won this race, the top option would take 15 energy, the bottom option would take either 5 or 20, and I take the bottom option here because if we were to lose either 15 or 20, we would rest anyways, but if we only lose 5, we have a chance that we can still train next turn. So there's only a good outcome. We also get a mood up here. This is a scripted mood up that always happens at the end of your turn in early March, and this is part of the reason why I wasn't super upset about that mood down that we got earlier. I would love to be able to take the speed rainbow that's on offer this turn, but that failure rate's way too high. We have to rest here. We have our inspiration here at the start of early April. This is where we get bonuses based on the sparks that our legacy Umas have, and we get a decent amount of stamina from here, some power, some speed, and we also get a hint for Ogre's unique skill, which is a skill Grass can actually make use of as a late surger. And on this next turn, the trainings weren't that great, so we just take Wit here to save some energy and also push Vodka to 80 Bond. This is another turn where we don't have any rainbows and the training stacks aren't that great, so we're going to take Stam here to get Bond for Ogre. And at this point, Fine Motion is the only character who isn't above 80 Bond. On this last turn before the Derby, we see a Power Rainbow, so we will take the Power Rainbow. For the Japanese Derby, we end up finishing in 3rd place, which once again puts us at a point where we're going to need to take another race in order to reach our requirement for the next goal race. Now we have 2 turns until summer training, and we want to make sure that our energy is good for the summer. So my general game plan here is to take 1 training and then rest on the other turn. We see a double speed rainbow on this first turn, so we're going to take that, and then we'll rest the turn after to get our energy set for summer. But unfortunately, we get a bad rest, so we're entering summer with just above half energy. During the summer, I don't want to rest for more than 1 turn, so we're going to take a training on this first turn where we see a power rainbow. Then we'll rest on the second turn where our energy is low and our failure rate is too high. Then we can take another rainbow on this third turn, which we see a power rainbow here that we can take. Following the third turn, we get an event. This event will always give you either power if you take the top option or guts if you take the bottom option. I took guts here because our guts are a bit low. And then on this last turn, we do see a speed rainbow here. It's a 15% chance to fail, but I'm going to gamble it anyways, and it does work out. For this Ogre event, the top option here gives 5 power and 15 skill points, and the bottom option gives a Nakayama race course hint. In general, I avoid the race course green skills for now, but they can be nice when you have an event like Champions Meeting, where you know that you'll race on that course, so you will get use from them. And on this turn, coming out of summer, we've spent all of our energy, so we have to rest here to get some back. We get a good rest, and then we also immediately see a speed rainbow with a sweep hint, so we'll take that here. This Etsuko event gives 10 stamina with the top option, or 10 guts with the bottom option. We want more stamina than guts, so we take stam here. The trainings for this turn didn't look great, and we do need to take a race before Japan Cup so that we can get the fans for the requirement for it. So I take Fuchu Umamusume Stakes, and we win that. Then we also finish Vodka's Chain 3 event, and this gives us access to Breath of Fresh Air, which is a gold recovery skill. This turn has a speed rainbow or a power rainbow. We take speed, it's a 3% fail, and that's fine with me. We also get an eating event here, so every character has an event like this, and some characters like McQueen or Ogre have variations of it as well. For this one, the top option gives 10 energy, and the bottom option gives 30 with a chance of giving slow metabolism. That's a debuff that stops you from getting speed from any trainings. I'll normally take the bottom option unless I'm about 30 energy or less from full. If you're low to the point where you would want to rest, like we are here, getting 30 energy from this and then going to the infirmary afterwards to heal slow metabolism, if we do get it, gives us 30 energy from the event, plus 20 from the infirmary for a total of 50 energy, and that's the same amount as a normal rest, so the risk is pretty low there. And since we got the energy from that eating event, we don't have to rest this turn, and we can take the speed rainbow that we see here. I did want to mention something here that didn't happen in this career because we only have 30,000 fans, but at the end of your turn in early November, if you have 50,000 fans or more, you get 20 wit, 20 skill points, and Iron Will from this event. Iron Will's not really a great skill since it requires that you're blocked early in the race in order for it to trigger, so it's inconsistent with triggering, and it would only trigger when you're already in a bad position anyways. But even though the skill's bad, the wit and the skill points are still nice if you have the fans for it. We have Japan Cup here, and I take the time here to buy Breath of Fresh Air and Slick Surge because I want to have a better shot at winning Japan Cup since it gives a good amount of fans. Buying skills later in the career or at the end of the career is nicer since they're cheaper and it makes it easier to plan your skill point spending. But with where we're at in the game right now with stats, some of these races can actually be a bit difficult, so buying some skills before important races isn't a bad idea. The trainings weren't great on this turn, and I considered taking Wit to get some more bond on Fine Motion, but in the end I decided to rest here. For Sweep Chain 1, the top option gives speed, skill points, and a lucky 7 hint. The bottom option is a mood down and a Maverick hint. I don't like Maverick and I don't want to mood down, so we take the top option here. Our last race of the year is Arima Kinen, which we end up winning pretty easily. And with the Arima Kinen win, we hit 132k fans. If you have 100,000 or more fans at the end of late December, you end up getting 30 skill points from this event here. For New Year's and the Senior Year, these options are always the same for every character. The top option gives 30 energy, the middle option gives +5 to every stat, and the bottom option gives 35 skill points. Most of the time I'll take the energy here, but we're close to full this time because we rested earlier, so we're going to take stats instead. On this turn we have a power rainbow, but the stamina stack looks nicer to me. It has Etsuko and Fine, who we both want to gain bond with still, so we end up taking stamina instead here. At the end of our early January turn, we have the raffle. The Umamusume reference document has the potential outcomes listed here, so I'll show them on screen. You'll normally get at least 20 energy here, so that's nice, and you don't want to be full on energy going into this. And there's also about a 40% chance that you get a mood increase here as well, which can help with fixing mood. This event gives 5 speed and 5 stamina, or 5 energy and 5 wit. I want more speed, so we take the top option here. This turn has a speed rainbow, so we'll take that. And at the start of early February, if you have at least 60,000 fans, you get your unique skill leveled up from Valentine's Day. This turn has a double power rainbow, and that's great, so we'll take that. We have Oguri giving a power rainbow here, but I'd rather just get bond with Fine Motion and Akikawa, who are both on speed, so we take that instead. There aren't any good options this turn, except for maybe Wit to get Akikawa bond because we're a bit low on her, but we just rest this turn. On this turn, we have a power rainbow with a vodka hint, or Stam, which we could take to bond with Akikawa. I end up taking speed here just because I want more speed, and that stack is okay, but part of me thinks we should have just bonded with Akikawa so we could have her ready for FanFest. It's early April, so we have inspiration again here, and we get some stats and some hints for corner recovery. We also have FanFest here. If you have 70,000 fans and at least 60 bond with Akikawa, you get a mood up here and a unique skill level up. Otherwise, you lose 5 energy and get skill points. We unfortunately were 1 training away from getting Akikawa to 60 bond. This turn gives us a double speed rainbow, and even though we're low on energy and this is a 19% fail chance, I take the gamble and we do succeed here. We get Sweep Chain 2 here. The top option gives 10 speed, 20 skill points, a hint for level-headed. The bottom option is a mood down and a hint for lone wolf. We take the top option here. And after that training last turn, we have to rest here, and we do get a good rest, which is great. For Spechon Chain 2, all of the options take 10 energy, with the top option giving 15 speed, the middle option giving 20 skill points, and the bottom option giving a hint for Shake It Out. We want speed, so we take the top option. We get a great stack this turn with a double power rainbow that also gets Fine Motion to finally be above 80 bond, so we're definitely taking that training. And on this next turn, we also get another power rainbow, so we'll take that one as well. Now we're in a position where we're 2 turns away from summer, but we have a race next turn, so we're going to take this turn and rest to get our energy set so that we're ready to go for summer. I buy corner recovery before Takarazuka Kinen just to make sure that we have enough stamina here, and we do end up winning this race, so that's nice too. This first turn of summer is pretty bad. None of these trainings are appealing at all, and we also have enough energy that resting isn't a great option either, so we're just going to take Wit here to save some energy and at least get some stats. The second turn is much better. We have a speed rainbow with a vodka hint, and Oguri's also there. For this third turn, once again, we don't have a rainbow, so I'm going to take this turn to rest and just make sure we have enough energy for next turn. And then we do get rewarded with a speed rainbow here, so not the best summer, but we did still get a few rainbows out of it, and I guess that's okay. Grass's dance lesson gives 10 power or 10 guts. I think our guts are still low here, so we're going to take guts here. This is our best turn of the whole career, our one and only triple speed rainbow. Nothing will ever stop us from taking that. It's so good, I'm so happy. And this gets followed up by a turn with a somewhat appealing stamina and wit stack, but they aren't rainbows and our energy is kind of low, so I'm gonna rest instead. We win our goal race, Mainichi Okon, by 7 lengths, which is always nice to see. For Nishino Chain 2, the top option takes 10 energy to give 20 wit, or the bottom option gives 5 wit and 15 skill points. I didn't want to spend energy, so we just took the bottom option, but looking at our final stat line in the end, maybe having the extra wit would have been nice. This turn gives a speed rainbow or a power rainbow. We want more speed, so we take the speed rainbow. For Ogre Chain 3, the top option gives some stats and a hint for a mile acceleration gold skill, whereas the bottom option gives 30 energy. As a mile late surger, Grass Wonder can actually make use of this gold skill, so we're going to take it. This turn gives a power rainbow or a somewhat tempting stamina stack, but with the stamina we have right now, we should be on track to hit our stamina goal anyways. And on this next turn, we get another speed rainbow, which is great. We want to see more speed. Going into early December, we do have enough energy to train here, and we see a speed rainbow, but I decide to pass on that and take a rest here. My thought process behind this is we're going to rest one more time during this training, and there's a chance that we get a better rainbow next turn, so I'd rather rest here and then just train the last 3 turns of the training. We also get a unique skill level up here at the start of late December because we have over 120,000 fans. For our last goal race, we have the Arima Kinen, and we win it by 6 lengths. And here at the end of late December, if you have over 240,000 fans, you get another 30 skill points from this event, but we don't have the fans for that this run. We're in the finale now, so we have 3 turns left, and we do see a double speed rainbow with a great stack here. So the decision that we made last turn to rest instead of taking the single speed rainbow actually ended up paying off. We win our qualifier by 5 lengths, and all of these finale races give a lot of stats and skill points. At a baseline, this is plus 10 to all stats, but this is affected by race bonus, which you can get from your support cards. On the second to last turn, I end up passing up a speed rainbow to take wit because I'm starting to realize how low my wit is, but this probably wasn't the smartest choice. I should have just gotten more speed. Before the semifinals, I end up buying Outer Swell and Furious Feet. We have the skill points to afford them. They probably won't get cheaper in the last turn, and having them for this race could be nice. For our final turn, we see a speed rainbow, and we take it. We want more speed. I end up buying Triumphant Pulse, which is Ogre's unique skill, which we've had hinted through Inspiration before the finale. And we end up having a pretty close final race, winning it by 1 length. And with that, we've come to the end of this Grass Wonder career. I hope you enjoyed or learned something from this different style of video from what I normally do. I'll do a little wrap up here, and then I'll still have the good ending and winning live at the end like I normally do for the first time that I've trained a character. And as a special treat, since this video was late, I've put the hot spring scene at the end. Even though we didn't end up getting it this run, I had it happen while I was playing on my phone when editing this video and I wasn't recording. As a whole, this training felt pretty decent for what we were working with, and although I did make a few odd decisions here and there, I'm happy with the end result. At the end, I bought 2 green skills and a debuff, which ended up costing the exact amount of skill points I had left. And this grass was good enough to just clear the threshold for A rank, so that was very nice to see as well. She's definitely improvement to the grass that I was running on my Mile team beforehand, so I'm happy with that. If you did enjoy this, please leave a like and let me know in the comments so that I know it's something I should do more of in the future. And that's all from me for today, so thanks as always for watching.
Trainerさん、はい。 りがとうございます。ならトレーナーさん、はい、もしもーし。え？お？はい。にゃはは。いえ。落ち着いていきましょう。はい。おお。むむむ。うん。ふっふん。ふっふっふ。へっ。おっと。イエーイ。よーし、やってみせます。あら？はい。はい。行きます。頂点へと至ってみせます。